views or opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Westman Communications Group or its employees.
Hey everybody, did you miss us? We haven't been on in like a week, haven't we? Well, we've been on the TV, but we haven't made an episode in like over a week.
I know. It's been too long. It's been too long. But we're back.
There's a reason why we were gone, and we will get into that in a bit. But first, the catch-up. How's it going?
We're just getting right in. Hi, welcome to Casey Chronicles.
If you don't know us already, then...
You don't know us already, but we have to introduce it like it's someone's first time watching.
If you don't know us already, even though we've been on for like, what, 40 episodes almost?
39.
Yeah, like almost 40. Anyway, if you don't know, I'm Kenzie Jordan, your host, and my lovely co-host, Cullen Shalleck. Yeah, how are you doing? How's it going?
Well, today my health is just fat. But I've been all right. Last few weeks were mighty busy, which is partially why we missed an episode last week. We missed some episodes, but this week has been the exact opposite. It's just been the most boring, quiet week ever.
Oh, and snow, but...
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's a little cold out.
So the beginning of this week, we had the introduction
Beautiful
to spring. It was
weather.
Beautiful. I was wearing shorts outside for a couple minutes, and then now it's gone back to just windy and snowy and cold, and I'm just...
Come on, spring, just show your colors and be nice.
It's already started. Like, did the groundhog see his shadow, or was he like...
I don't remember. I've never understood Groundhog Day.
Was he tripping on something?
Never understood Groundhog Day.
You never understood. If he doesn't see his shadow, winter's going to end early. If he sees his shadow, it's going to go on for a few more weeks. And I'm going to fact check that to make sure I didn't just say the wrong thing.
Yeah, so I've been super busy lately, and it's been good, though. I mean, busy, and I only have 1 month of classes left, and I played bingo last night.
Yeah, and you won back-to-back.
I won back-to-back. So they had like 6 different rounds, and there was different things you had to win. So like there's the first round was like one line any direction, like normal bingo goes, and then there's like other things like large frame and diamond, and the last one was a plus sign. I got the plus sign, and then the very last one, she's like, hey, we're going to do blackout after blackout until all the prizes are gone. I won the second blackout.
Yeah, so if the groundhog sees its shadow, the tradition holds that winter will continue for 6 more weeks, and if it doesn't see its shadow, it's the sign of an early spring. I don't even know what happened this year, but clearly something is incorrect.
Yeah, but yeah, so bingo was fun. Actually, I'm so sad because Jimmy, one of my friends, so it's like a friend group. It's me, Connor, and Annika and Jimmy.
Okay.
And we're like this friend group of 4. Jimmy is leaving for his practicum early, and he's going to Calgary.
Early?
Yeah. Drake's already gone. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I just learned this.
You didn't know that Drake's gone?
Drake's
been gone for like 2-3 weeks. He's also in Calgary.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw that he was in Calgary. I thought he was just on vacation.
No, he went to practicum early.
Wow.
And then...
What's all these early practicums? There was no...
People want them early. Like, Jimmy, his practicum said they want him early.
They want him early.
So he's leaving on Monday.
My practicum didn't want me early.
Yeah, well, wonder. No, I'm just kidding. But so it was really sad. So after bingo, we went out for a drink last night to say goodbye to Jimmy. 'Cause it's the last time I'm ever gonna see him. Well, not ever. He might come back too. He might come back to for grad, but
don't be dramatic.
Well, when you think about it, we're gonna be busy adults soon, so it's not gonna be.
Well, you already are busy adults. You're just busy adults who no longer have school.
But yeah, so 1 month until my practicum starts.
Heck yeah.
I feel old. Like,
you say that you're still 19.
Yeah, but like, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird. Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick second to acknowledge all of our social medias, because if you didn't know this already, we have a YouTube channel. You might be watching it on this episode on the YouTube channel, so disregard that if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching on TV, we have a YouTube channel with all of our episodes free to stream. So let's rapid fire. Instagram and TikTok is Casey_Chronicles 2024. Same username for both Instagram and TikTok. And then our Gmail account is our personal, like Casey Chronicles ones. It's CaseyChronicles2024@gmail.com. If you want to work with us or just anything to do with us personally, message us at that email. If you want to just message WCG about doing your own podcast, that email that was just on the screen, WCGTV@westmancom.com, is your contact point. And last but not least, our YouTube channel is just KC Chronicles. So feel free to go subscribe and watch all the episodes. They're all in a playlist for you, so you can binge watch them all.
We highly encourage you to do it. Eliminate everything else from your measly life and just watch us constantly.
I actually was testing out the playlist feature, and it works pretty nice. I always fall asleep watching our own podcast. That sounds bad, but like I like putting it in the background.
You listen to our stuff like to fall asleep?
Yeah. Like okay, here's the thing about me is I hate living alone. I am like so paranoid living alone. And so I tend to sleep worse when I'm living alone. And so
you like to have several voices just being
I like to just have something in the background because I can't sleep in all silence when I'm by myself. It freaks me out.
See, most people, they listen to like white noise or rain or campfire. You're like, I want to listen to my own show. It's
my show or it's KC Chronicles. Or wait, hold up. It's my show. It's KC Chronicles or Good Mythical Morning. Do you want to hear a funny dream that I had the other night?
Oh no. Please.
It's to do with Good Mythical Morning,
Go
actually.
for it.
So we were in the mall. I was in the mall. And for some reason, Rhett and Link were in the mall. And then I met Rhett and Link, and you weren't there. And I was like, I'm going to rub this in Cullen's face. And then we like all got matching shot glasses. It was a weird dream. But I met Rhett and Link in my dream.
And I wasn't even there to do. That's just.
No, I was like, I'm going to have to rub this in Cullen's face. Okay, I met them.
Okay, well, if we're going to talk about dreams, see.
I just thought it was a funny dream.
I've been keeping because we did our episode about dreaming back
a while ago.
August last year.
Yeah.
Since December, I've been keeping a dream catalog. So any dreams that I have that are notable and that I can remember in good detail. Because I dream almost every single night. I write down the most notable ones, and there are some recent ones that I have that I think.
I'm going to interrupt him for a second and just let you know we don't have a topic today.
Oh yeah, so today's topic is we don't have one.
Well, we have some stuff we want to talk about, so we just kind of are going to yap for an hour, and you guys are going to be here with us.
It's Friday afternoon.
It's a Friday afternoon after a very long weekend that we will touch on later. So just bear with us, yap with us, listen to us. If you dream about Good Mythical Morning like I did, send us an email. Be like, I had that dream too. I don't know.
What?
I really want to meet Rhett and Link. I think that's just like my hopes and dreams is to meet Rhett and Link.
It would cost a lot of money.
For some reason, I don't know why they were in Canada and Brandon in a mall, but you know, dreams work.
Life
funnily.
brings you to different places.
Anyway, continue. What's
okay? So, because I write everything down in like amazing detail, but. Here's a dream that I had recently on February 14th. Okay. So I write this down like from not like, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I basically just explain the dream as it's happening from like a third person perspective. Yeah. So, okay. So the main event of this dream,
Cullen dies.
No, she secretly wishes that could happen. But so essentially I wrote this down and at the time, and I think I've had this dream about maybe 1 to 3 times before, slightly different every single time. But this dream involved me being a part of a massive spy scheme. Okay, so I was with like a spy organization, and it was with several other people I know in real life, from like coworkers to friends. No.
Darn it! I wanted to be a spy.
Well, I'm not at the mall when you meet Rhett and Link, so you don't get to be a part of my spy scheme.
Funny, and you mentioned that though. In the dream that I had, I texted you the picture of me and Rhett and Link, and you were like, "Damn it, why wasn't I there?"
I never got the text. So, our spy scheme closely mirrors the Avengers, in which we are like Thanos, and we are trying to collect Infinity Stones for our personal gain. Instead of these big superhero fights like the Avengers, we would be going into random everyday locations and we would steal these Infinity Stones like we were in a James Bond movie. And instead of having just the 6 Infinity Stones like the movies, there are several different objects that required many Infinity Stones to power it. So that's why we're gathering all these stones. And I remember it was established at some point early on in the dream, we already had like nearly 40 stones already.
Oh.
And these stones don't behave like the actual like, colorful mineral stones that you see in the movies. They have the appearance of an SD card that you would put into a camera. And all of them are like a bright off-white color. And there's like a little glowing hue trim of like blue, red, green, yellow. And so we had like 40 of these
Of
stashed
SD cards.
stashed on a computer.
Huh.
So, and basically, so that's just kind of a help set the stage. The actual dream itself, we were in Alaska,
Oh God.
and we operated as a disguised operation by masquerading as a fake business of some kind. In this one, we were called to a man's house in the rural Alaskan wilderness, to this beautiful big house. The owner had a problem with his boombox player.
Oh, what? What?
I know, like, what is this?
Dreams just don't make sense ever.
Yeah, this isn't the 80s. This is 2025.
Yeah.
And we were called to come and repair it. It was that big of a thing.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
was
gonna
the
call
one-
you to repair my boom.
Yeah, totally. If you have any boom boxes that need fixing,
Colin will fix
I'm your
it.
guy.
Just make sure he doesn't steal anything, I guess.
So in this operation, I was the one that was repairing the boombox. I went down to the basement like I'm in Mission Impossible style and anticipating like booby traps. But yet I'm just going down to the basement with this big briefcase in my hand. But while I was going down the stairs, I was able to morph this briefcase into whatever I wanted it to be. The briefcase, I think, was just a decoy or like a toolbox. I morphed it into, I'm carrying this massive orange glowing gun that looks like the fuel rod gun from the Halo video game. So anyway, that's what happens when I get down to the basement, because I'm anticipating like traps. So I guess I have this gun in my hand for some reason. But once I reached the boombox, the other person assigned on this mission, it was one of my coworkers. He was upstairs and he came with me on this mission, and he was distracting the client upstairs as I began to use a screwdriver to open all of the screws to get inside the boombox where this infinity stone was stashed in.
Huh.
I don't know why we were stealing, I don't know if we were stealing with the assumption that this guy knew he was carrying a stone and he was hiding it in the boombox, or he was just unknowingly carrying one and we were just stealing it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I managed to fish out the stone and I put the boombox back together. And then at this point in the dream, I managed to morph the gun I had back into a toolbox, and I placed the stone inside. I went back upstairs. I let the client know that it was fixed, and then we bolted out of there and never came back, and that was how the dream ended.
Wow. Okay, can we talk about that for a second? Like the fact that some dreams just feel so real. The
All my
Red Link dream
dreams-
felt so real to me. Like
all
I
of my
actually thought it was
dreams-
happening.
All of my dreams are vivid and they're real, and probably 95% of every single dream I had has taken place in and around Brandon. So in a way, I'm almost unable to lucid dream because
You
I
kind
can
of already
I
are.
can't
Yeah.
but I can't tell that my dreams are
Aren't
dreams.
real.
They feel exactly like I've gone to it like a parallel universe.
Like genuinely, the Red and Link one felt so real, and I don't know why.
Maybe it was real, and maybe you did see
That would be
Rhett
awesome.
and Link at the shopping
I would
mall.
have actually cried. The other two dreams that I've had recently that felt so real, it was all in the same night. Because I was having a really bad sleep, so I had two really bad dreams. Do you ever have like a really bad dream? Not necessarily a nightmare, but it's just like a bad dream.
It's unsettling.
It's very unsettling. The first one was like, for some reason, all I remember about it is that I was getting stabbed and kidnapped. Like that, genuinely, all I remember is like stabs right here in my chest, and then like being taken. It was terrifying. The second one, I remember more vividly. It was my brother driving. I was in the passenger seat, like my oldest brother driving. I was in the passenger seat. My mom was in the back seat, and my brother took a turn too sharp, and it was like spring where the snow was melting, so there's puddles in the ditch, and we flipped into the ditch, and I somehow got out and I saved my mom. Not sure what happened, but yeah, I remember it going dark when we went in the water. It was freaky. Anyway,
Amazing.
dreams
Very,
are a crazy
very
thing.
nice, light, happy, fun dreams.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, dreams are weird. Like we talked about this in our dream episode, but
No, dreams are weird. I have a lot of dreams that where the zombie apocalypse is involved in some way. I have a lot of those dreams. They just pop up every now and then, but most of the time they're funny.
I find that the quality of my dream, like whether it's funny or good or like bad, really depends on my sleep.
I tend to notice that whenever I have like those dreams, like usually on the weekend when I sleep 9-10 hours and it's just a really good sleep, like my bed was comfy, it was like the perfect temperature in my room, and I sleep for like I can tell I've slept for a long time unbroken. That's usually when I tend to have dreams that are good specifically.
Yeah, I feel like the better I sleep, the better I have a dream. Like literally, I slept really good last night, And that's when the Rhett and Link dream came to me. So, I tend to feel that the quality of my dream also relies on the quality of my sleep, which is kind of weird to say. Like, when I have really bad sleep, I typically have really bad dreams.
Well, yeah, because dreams, we've talked about all this in the dream episode.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, go watch it on the YouTube.
Go watch it, because I had a lot of facts.
What was it, like episode 8 or something? It was an early episode.
Farther than that.
No, I don't know.
It was back in August last year. But yeah, dreams, they can reflect, just your unconscious brain and how it's thinking and how it's moving and whatnot. So
it's so freaky to me. Like, the Rhett and Link dream was so good, and I'm like, I want to actually meet Rhett and Link. If Rhett and Link are watching this, I'll cry. I'll be like, oh, they're not watching this, but like, if they were,
please
come meet us. We're in Canada. No, I love Rhett and Link. Like, Good Mythical Morning is one of my favorite YouTube shows, like, ever. I will watch every episode.
God, I'm trying to remember what the first time I watched. I think I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a hallmark classic of YouTube entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Very scandal-free.
Let us know if you like Rhett and Link, like Good Mythical Morning. Do you watch Good Mythical Morning?
If Good Mythical Morning comments this, I might actually have a heart attack.
Honestly, if they followed us on anything, or if they liked something of ours, we'd probably both just die.
Even if they
dead.
just sent us an email.
Sent us like, hey, we see you, and I'm like, what?
What?
No, like, honestly though, if they just did any acknowledgement of us, I feel like we would both die.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that wind.
And a good way. Yeah, it's really windy outside.
Sorry, if you hear something, it's out. We promise we're not dying or anything. It's outside. We promise. Like,
why's the first thing that you say?
I don't
we're not dying.
Could be an explosive. Office about blow up.
No, essentially what's happened. It's very windy outside, and the doors that we have into the studio, they're not of the highest quality. So there's a little open part of the door where wind comes screaming in, and it sounds like a high pitched whistling. So if it bleeds through on the mics, we apologize.
And it's not.
We can hear it, but you guys might not hear it. Maybe we're the insane ones. Who knows? But
yeah,
anyway,
maybe this is proof we need therapy.
Perhaps.
Psychosis, something. We're dying. We have psychosis.
Psychologist, psychiopathy, psychosis.
I still hear it, and it's bothering me. Anyway.
What whistling? No, I'm joking.
What?
I'll make it seem like you are the one that's insane and is only hearing the whispering. Anyway, why don't we talk about
why we didn't have one last year?
Why?
Or last week. Guys, we're so tired. I'm so tired.
You're tired. So last week.
I guess it's already spoiled on our Instagram.
Yeah, but it's the first episode that we're talking about it.
Last weekend.
If you follow Canadian sports or
specifically Brandon.
Well, university sports in general, you would know that around this time of year, that's when a lot of the nationals occur for volleyball, for basketball, for hockey, rugby. I think
there's a swimming one.
Yeah, there's a ton of nationals. Every single sport, and the volleyball nationals were
the men's volleyball nationals.
The men's volleyball nationals were last weekend, the weekend of the February 20.
You mean March? March 21st or 23rd.
I said February, didn't I?
You said February.
I did say February.
It's March, guys.
It's March.
We're having a day.
Yeah, so it was last weekend. The women's was the week before. University of Manitoba Bisons, they won that one. Manitoba team captured the women's. The men's won.
And if you're from Brandon, the men's won.
It was here in Brandon.
Here in Brandon.
We got to host it. So by virtue, the Brandon Bobcats made the tournament. So there were 8 teams in total, and I'll kind of spitball them really quickly. So there was University of Alberta, Saskatchewan, Windsor, Sherbrooke, Queens, Western, Winnipeg, and Brandon. And so, of course, these are the top volleyball teams in all of the country, from Canada West, the Ontario League, and the Quebec League.
Yeah.
So Brandon was going up against pretty stacked competition. And granted, because Brandon plays in the Canada West League, 3 of these other teams, Saskatchewan,
we've played before.
Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Winnipeg, they're in Canada West. So we have played them before in the season, but we're going up against the best competition.
Specifically, the first game on Friday that they played was against the number 1 seeded Winnipeg Westmen.
Yeah, so they have the seeding of all the 8 teams from 8 to 1, and usually that seeding is determined by, because essentially these 8 teams that get in, they have the champion from Canada West, Ontario, and Quebec.
Yeah,
and I think they include now in some leagues. So for out of those 3 leagues, either they do or do not include the finalist from the championship, which they did include from Canada West and I believe the Ontario League. Mm-hmm. And then they might include the bronze medal from whatever league. as well. So regardless, Brandon came in 8th seeded. The team finished, I believe, 10-10 in the regular season play.
Oh, I think it was 10-12.
That might be including the playoffs because they
Might
played
have been,
2
but it
playoff
was
games.
10-12. There was a video I saw. I'll have to show you it
The
after, but it was
TikTok-
really funny.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah,
okay.
but
It was like this guy.
I thought it was
anyway.
10-10 in the regular season specifically. But
Mm-hmm.
anywho, Brandon was the numbers implied it was nothing special. So they came in at 8th seed, and the first game was on the Friday against
Winnipeg Westman.
Winnipeg Westman.
If you watch locally on WCGTV, you will have seen all of our games. We do BU all the time at WCGTV. We film all their games. You would have seen that the last time that they played the Winnipeg Westman, they lost on the Friday, but they
Beat them
won
on the Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, that's an interesting tidbit I will include. Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg in the regular season, usually they'll play back-to-back double headers. Like they'll play a game Friday
and Saturday.
and then Saturday night. And they had played Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg in the regular season, and they drew both those games. So they won and lost against Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg. And then, of course, Winnipeg won the Canada West. Alberta was the finalist, and Saskatchewan was the bronze medalist. So they've at least been able to win a game against these 3 top teams.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the hardest challenge because the lowest seed went against the highest seed, and because it's all single elimination knockout. There's no round robin. It's straight up. You have your 8 teams, so you have 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams, 2 teams. The winner of those quarterfinals play in the semifinals. The winner of those 2 semifinal games play in the championship.
Which, if you were watching the broadcast over the weekend, you would have seen that. We had a bracket made for graphics.
I made my own personal prediction bracket of who I thought was gonna.
Was it all wrong?
Actually, I'll show you afterwards. I was shockingly correct. Out of the 4 quarterfinal games, I got 3 out of the 4.
Oh wow!
I predicted a lot to happen. But I won't spoil the bracket. But essentially, the first game, Brandon plays Winnipeg, and you might think, okay, no one's gonna really feel too terrible if the lowest seeded team loses to the highest seeded team because they're the best in the country. So that was the first game on the Friday.
But what happened in that game?
Brandon
swept.
They not only won, they blanked
swept.
them 3 sets to
Zero.
nothing.
Which everybody was shocked at because number 1 seeded in the country.
Stunning. And they just if anyone from the Winnipeg Westman is watching, there's nothing personal, but we beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, we apologize if
you're from any of these universities and you're watching, I'm sure you're a talented player.
That's some pride.
And we swept them. We beat the crap out of them. So instantly now everyone's going, whoa, okay, so now
it's like, okay, Brandon's now a team to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Because essentially, if you lose in your quarterfinal game or the semifinal game, you play for either the bronze medal or in a consolation for 5th place. So you play other tournaments. But essentially, if you keep winning, you have to go 3-0.
Sorry.
You have to go 3-0 in this championship robin if you want to win the championship.
Yeah.
So they beat Winnipeg. This is great. So the next night,
Saturday night,
they play the Saskatchewan Huskies.
Who won their game?
I don't remember what team they played, but they won the previous night. So okay, so we have another Canada West matchup. We've got Brandon and Saskatchewan. Brandon, they beat the number 1 seeded team. What's going to happen? They go down 2 sets to nothing, meaning that if Saskatchewan wins one more set, they
were out.
Advance, and Brandon is on the back foot.
For 5th place.
They're on the edge of the cliff, and they're about to fall right off.
Yeah.
But Brandon channeled their inner primal bobcat
and reverse sweeped,
and they clawed back, went to the 5th overtime swept and reverse swept Saskatchewan, and that gym went badonkles. Badonkles.
That's the word of the day. Badonkles. If somebody can find us a description of what badonkles means,
it was so bloody loud, and we beat Saskatchewan. So
you should have been there. Which we'll get to after.
Yeah, we'll get to our
We'll talk about
afterwards.
the games, and then we'll talk about our involvement later.
After that. So they beat Saskatchewan. Crazy. Okay, so now they're going to the championship final. Now, for some context, women's as well, but in Brandon University, the volleyball programs have not won any national titles. They've won a Canada West championship, the Brandon Bobcats and the men's team in 2019-2020. They won the Canada West championship, and they made it to the finals of the nationals tournament but they lost to, I think it was Trinity Western
Mm-hmm.
Spartans, I think. So unfortunate. So they've been there before, but they couldn't make it. But we're back now as hosts, and we have a chance for redemption. And who are they going up against? The University of Alberta Golden Bears.
Who won last year?
They were the national champions last year.
And they have 10. They had 9 under their belt or something like that.
They are a very accomplished
Very
school.
good team.
In the past, like 3, 4, 5 years, their men's volleyball program has been like one of the top envies of the country. So, yes, we had beaten the Canada West champion from this year. We beat the bronze medalist Saskatchewan Huskies. But going up against a team that won this nationals, they've been here. They're familiar with this place.
And they had 9 national championship titles under their belt already going into this match.
So they're a very
and Brandon
accomplished.
Didn't have any.
They're a very accomplished, a very proud school. So, championship game starts, and oh, buddy, the Brandon Bobcats, they win the first set. But it was close. It was close. We get a point. They get a point. There were no. For most of the game, there was no big lead. It was this constantly.
It was close.
No one could get a gap in
lead.
points.
Yeah.
But Brandon managed to just barely squeak out and win the first set. Awesome. But the second set, same thing happens. Just and Alberta, they take the second set. So now
we
we're
know
at
immediately
1-1.
we're going to 4 sets.
Yeah. So it's getting intense now. But again, just just back and forth. But Brandon, they somehow managed to
Win
go
the
up,
third set.
and they went up 2-1. And at that point, the gym was buzzing. Which we'll talk about the gym in a second. But
hello. Did
sorry.
you hear that?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we were
I
having
pulled the
some
cord.
mic issue, guys.
No, I
One
just
sec.
pulled the
He
cord
was just
by
breaking
accident.
things.
I'm just breaking
Sorry
things.
if you heard that, guys.
It's so intense that the technology is
breaking
failing.
stuff.
No, the technology is
Anyway,
failing because the gravity is
The
too.
fourth set.
The fourth set.
The intensity in the gym. Everybody on their feet.
And Brandon
painting a word
and
picture.
I think Alberta, because Alberta, they played solid throughout the entire game. They didn't make very many mistakes. Brandon was winning just by sheer dominance. They were executing everything that they possibly could, from blocking to their kills to their digs. They were just doing everything just slightly better than Alberta. But in the fourth set, that's when I noticed the things were beginning to crack. Alberta, they were missing digs. They were,
The pressure was hitting them.
the pressure was hitting them. Brandon was blocking Alberta shots far more than Alberta was. They were botching serves.
And the thing you got to know is that crowd was mainly Bobcat fans. So
Yeah.
the pressure that Alberta was under, it's no surprise that they started to crack.
You know what? Because this is WCGTV, I'm going to put some little footage right here. And it's
Yeah.
just going to be a quick little kind of spersing of some shots from the student sections. Because essentially, at the Healthy Living Center where the Bobcats play, it's just across the street from the university. There's the main grandstands that you kind of mainly see at the bottom of your screen. But on either sides of the court for the Nationals, they added
Yeah,
little
at the
student
ends.
sections. Just some little bleachers with some rope separating it. They were filled with Bobcat students, and they were going
Specifically, the basketball team.
The
women's
basketball team?
volleyball team.
Yeah,
the
they
men's
attended.
basketball team. I saw the men's basketball team out
Yeah,
there.
they were. Yeah, they
it
attended
was
the
the
final.
other teams. So teams supporting teams from the same university was
Yeah.
really nice to see.
But just seeing the fans wearing everything from high vis jackets to hard hats, Home Depot buckets, and beating them with wooden spoons. People had pool
I
noodles.
got some stories for you after once we get into the gym stuff.
I'm
But
sure you do. But okay, so back to the game. Sorry.
the end of the fourth set.
So, but in the fourth set, as Alberta, the pressure is getting, the cracks are showing. Brandon jumps out to like a 6 or 7 point lead, and the gym just starts going nuts as they start pulling away. But Alberta, they keep the fight up, and we kind of start going point for point again. But Brandon's able to cruise, and with an up 24-17. Oh no, what happened? Essentially, the ball cruised out of bounds. Alberta was the last one to touch it, and Brandon won, and everyone went
Onto the court.
onto the
students went
court,
on the court.
nuts, and the building nearly exploded.
Honestly, I'm surprised that building's roof is still on there. Like,
I'm surprised too.
when T. Cray talks about blowing the roof off, you should have
True.
been. If you were
It
there,
was
you know.
so loud.
It was loud. It's just electric. Like there was just so much
But
energy.
Brandon won.
Somehow.
They've won their first national championship. It's the first national championship that
20th
Brandon
anniversary too. I think
on the 20th anniversary of the men's volleyball team being in
thing,
existence.
yeah.
But the first national championship that the like Brandon University has ever had since 1996.
And they won it on
team.
home court.
In front of the fans. And some other amazing stats. This was the first time since 2013 that the host team won the Nationals.
Really?
So we disrupted a 12-year drought.
Nice.
And the first 8th seeded team, the last seed, first 8th seeded team to win
The
Nationals.
championship. Wow.
We went on a historic underdog run for the ages, and the city.
Did you see our broadcast made it to Sports Center?
Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you that.
TSN. Yeah, TSN.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, when you think about this thing, you might think, oh, it's just university sports.
A small little university in a small city of 50,000
It
people.
was huge. It was something that the town needed.
Yep. And what a tournament, what a team. Just everything was amazing. So now let's talk about the broadcast, because that's where we were involved in.
We were we did the broadcast. If you guys were watching it, we were a part of that.
We did it was just us two.
That's why you wouldn't have seen it. No, it wasn't just us.
We had an amazing team. I can't spit out all the names, but everyone from our directors, our switchers.
If you want to see everybody on the team, it is up on the KC Chronicles Instagram right now. We
Yeah.
posted it on Monday. I don't know what day it is anymore. I posted it on Monday, so if you have already seen that, you would know what we're talking about, but that is our Nationals crew. We are so grateful to every single person who helped us out. KC_Chronicles 2024. This wouldn't have been possible without having all of those people involved, and we are so grateful to have been a part of that.
It was just the whole game. Well, the championship game was phenomenal, but all 3 games were amazing. Just
Yeah, Brandon had a good
in the entire out of the 3 games we played, just the storyline, the games, just how the whole game went itself was nuts. Like, again, just to start, you go against the champion of your conference.
Yeah, which
The best team going into the whole, like the best team in the whole country going up against you, and you not only beat them, you sweep them. That's unheard of.
yeah.
And then second game, you fall down 2-0. You're on the brink of elimination. You come back and reverse sweep them, and then you verse the defending national champions from last year.
And you beat them in 4 sets, not
you beat
even
them in
5.
4 sets. Like,
It was so crazy. Like,
It
if
was
you
crazy.
were watching, we really hope you were watching, because it aired on WCGTV.
yep.
We
And it was on CBC as well.
CBC. We did this for CBC. They were the ones who came to us because we were the local
Yep.
community programming.
Yeah,
We're the local people.
We've been
who do it.
doing. WCGTV has been doing
Brandon for
Brandon Bobcat games for like 30 years, something like that.
yeah.
So,
I heard something about like 4
long
decades
time,
almost.
Long time.
We've been doing it for a long time, and ever since I was here, we do all the regular season games, playoffs if they happen here. Like we do all of that. So all that programming happens because of us. So it was a real honor to.
And the final
be
product
asked to do it.
and the final product was amazing. Everything, like, there's not enough shout outs that we can give, because not everyone that was on the crew, because we had a big crew
Yeah.
for this one, far bigger than what you would see during the regular season, because during the regular season,
I think it's like 6 people a night.
well,
at
yeah,
most.
but the main point is almost the entire crew is WCGTV. But for the Nationals, we had a lot of people who work for different companies. We had some students from AC, or Assiniboine
Assiniboine
College.
We had a past grad come in, or a couple past grads, I guess. We've had some people. Our director was Bryce Perkins. He's in Regina. And our producer was Cole Davenport.
Yep.
Davenport. He works at what, CTV Regina? I believe it's CTV
I
Regina.
don't remember, but
If
yeah,
you've
so,
seen
but
him on CTV Regina, it's probably
we had
him.
several people from different backgrounds come in. It wasn't just WCGTV who worked on this, but the big crew, everything from the directing, the switching, the camera work, of course, the commentary by Tyler Crayston. That's the voice that you hear in the play-by-play.
And then it was Pat Thompson and Brendan White. They took turns each game. So
I think they're both former Bobcat alumni, I think.
believe so.
Yeah, just phenomenal for the city, for the university, for the teams. It was an amazing tournament, and the fact that we got to be a part of it and work it in real time, it's special, and it's a memory that all of us will cherish for a long time.
yeah,
forever.
and like when I said if you thought it was loud on your TV,
Yeah.
you should have been there.
It was just
loud.
deafening. Because here's the thing, the Healthy Living Center, because it's, in part it hosts the Bobcat games, but it's also like a gym. It's an athletic center.
Yeah.
And the venue itself, it's modest. It's okay for a university, but no, I don't have the exact numbers. Don't quote me, but I believe it was somewhere around 1,500 to 1,600 at capacity.
And
which
he did say there was 1,500 people on the last night, on Sunday night.
Okay, yeah.
So that's roughly
like,
what the tickets
because
were.
the games that Brandon was in, they were all pretty much sold out, like at that near 1,500 capacity. But despite that, it's a big size, but relatively speaking, when you see like sports games where it's like 15,000 or 30,000, it's loud. For a small gym of 1,500, that was loud. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and shout out to Mayor Jeff Fawcett, who we saw in the crowd.
Yeah, I think some of our MLAs were there.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
saw lots of people.
Pretty much everyone who was important in Brandon was there.
Yeah, it was so funny. If you know Jeff Fawcett, he was in our Halloween number two haunted house episode. We interviewed him. We went through with him. Yeah. So if you know him, you know him. If you don't, he's the mayor of Brandon. He was at the last final game, so that was kind of cool.
We had it was just everyone amazing was there, and that whole production was great. So why don't we talk about like our involvement in it? Because we both had different involvements.
I'll let you go first.
So, full disclosure, I had less of an involvement overall in the production. So I was a part of the master control. So essentially, these guys, they're at
the Healthy Living Center.
Yeah, they're at the Healthy Living Center. They're at the university with the mobile trailer, recording the event and broadcasting it because it was going to CBC and also going to our feed at WCGTV.
And we also had a French version as well, just in case.
We had French.
We had 3 different things
French
going out at once.
and English encoders, and also the feed to WCGTV. I'm back here at the office, and essentially, I'm kind of making sure that things are going smoothly on our end, that the signal coming in from these guys at the trailer is going out to our TV signal properly. We can't air CBC commercials on our channel, so I basically had to hit a button to
every time for the commercials.
For the commercial breaks. So yeah, again, my involvement was not as much. I wasn't there as much because I didn't cover every single game. I split the master control duties, but you were far more busy and involved.
Yeah. So I was a graphics operator, the only graphics operator. So all those graphics you saw on the screen, that was because of me. Me and Brad Smith are. He was our engineer, but he's technically he's the director and switcher for all of our regular mobiles.
Mobile producer.
So him and I got this big graphics file from U Sports, and we teared it down, made all the graphics we needed, made sure we had so many graphics. There was so many graphics, like you don't even know. But there was a lot that we had to make sure we had, and I was updating the bracket after every game. I was updating all the different. I had to make bugs on the fly because we had to have a new score bug for each team. We can't it wasn't interchangeable, so we had to make a new one every time. So like I was pretty busy, and by the end of it, I was associate producing this thing. Like I wasn't just graphics, I was helping script assist, making sure people were keeping on time, knowing where we were going. That was me and Cole Davenport. We worked together like we shared a brain cell pretty much the entire weekend.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, it was good. And so by the end I became associate producer pretty much. And yeah, it was very nice to have Cole by my side, helping me, making sure that just everything went good. And I was there for every single game, 12-hour days, 3 days in a row. It was long days.
She was far more involved, and her day was a lot more stressful and long.
Yeah, it was long, but I couldn't be more appreciative for the experience because I'm not even 20 yet, and I did a national broadcast. Just think about that. Like, it's crazy to me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was 11 games over the entirety of the weekend, and I was there for every single one. It did get tiring. There was a lot of monsters drank.
Oh, trust me, it is tiring.
Yeah, I had like 4 monsters drink because I'm sitting there. Think about it. Like, I wasn't physically moving a lot, but I was sitting there staring at a screen for 8 hours.
You had to focus for a long time, and focusing really does kind of wear it tires you out.
Yeah.
It wears you out. But one thing that we did do together is because when you have big events like this where you have multiple cameras,
13 cameras overall, by the way, just so you know,
a large amount of cameras, a lot of broadcasting. There's a lot of setup and prep that's involved.
To make that happen, to get all those signals to the
Tearing
trailer.
down is far quicker than it is to set up, in case you didn't know how the broadcasting world works.
It took us 2.5 days to set up, just so you know. Like, this is just so you have an idea. And this was, 5 people setting up? And it took 2.5 days with 5 people setting up, so.
Yep. But the teardown, we did that in about an hour and a half, and I know that because I decided to help out for it. I wasn't scheduled for it, but I was so wired on adrenaline after
He just erased.
I drove quickly to the university, and I showed up at the trailer. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know he was coming. He wasn't scheduled to, but he decided to come help, and then we appreciate the help because it went by so fast with everybody helping. Yep. Big shout out to Katrina Spangler. She was our TD. She was switching all the buttons, so everything you saw happen, she was pushing the buttons to happen.
Pushing the buttons, yeah.
And so she did really, really good. And she's not much older than she's in between you and me. I think she's a little bit younger than you and a little bit older than me.
Yeah, I think she's like
But she graduated from Assiniboine College last year, and she did such a good job. So I'm very proud. And it was so nice to see her because I haven't seen her since she graduated. So it was a nice. Yeah, I think it almost would have been bad if we didn't all get along. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Especially there's a couple new faces, but sorry, we hear sirens.
There is like a bajillion sirens going on outside. There must be.
Is the building on fire and we don't know it?
They just won't go away. Okay, continue.
Anywho, there was a couple new faces in the mix for this, but I think everybody took it with a grain of salt. They did what they had to do, and nobody caused any issues at the end of the day.
Everyone coexisted enough to get the product done.
That's precisely it.
Look, all I'm saying is, let me be frank.
Let me be frank. Okay.
So, University of Manitoba, they were hosting the women's volleyball, so that they do their own broadcast. Their broadcast was good. I'm just gonna be very clear. Their broadcast was good, but ours was way better.
Ours just took it up a notch because I heard some things about.
We set a standard,
and that was a small WCG truck. Like if you've seen our trailer, our broadcast trailer, it's not big
compared to what you would see for like
in the dome trucks,
NHL or NHL or CFL.
A lot of it's done by Dome Productions.
Our stuff pales in comparison to how big those trailers are.
Like, I have seen pictures of a Dome production truck, and it is a semi-trailer.
Yeah.
We just have a small trailer.
Just a small little trailer that, like, you could fit a Skidoo or two in.
Yeah, like, it was, like... But, so, when you think about all our resources, we pulled all of our resources, all of our people together to make it happen, and I think that's something for us to be proud of. Because at the end of the day, we got it done, and we got it done to a really good standard.
Yeah. I don't know how all the other national broadcasts have been with the other universities, but I like to think that we're the best one.
Well, I think for what we had and just pulling everything together, I think it's really impressive when you look at it from a wide angle. It's like how a lot of people be like, "How did you do it?" And we pulled every little thing we had and we made it happen.
We did it. But yeah, so it was
really good weekend.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
We spent almost the entire block talking about that. Let's just riff. Let's just talk about whatever.
I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who did watch that. I think we hit like 9,000 on
something like that
on the English YouTube.
Yeah.
Stream. There was a whole bunch of other streams at the same time.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who watched, and we hope that you guys watched and you. If you watched the final, you actually would have heard our names on TV.
Yeah,
because T. Cray shouted us out.
Yeah, thank you, T. Cray. Yeah, he went through the entire list, and we both got mentioned.
Yeah.
So our names were on national broadcast. That's all I'm saying.
We just want to say thank you to everybody involved, and everybody who helped out, and everybody who let us do this because it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Those only come around every 9 years.
Well,
it was 9 years
on average.
It was 9 years since last time Brandon hosted anything.
Yeah, in 2016, the women's volleyball hosted the tournament. Fortunately, the women didn't win anything. But anyway, I was just gonna say I wish KC Chronicles got the viewership that we did on CBC, but one can dream. One can dream. Someday, one day, or 1 year, 1 decade, we'll
when we're actually on our deathbeds, we'll be like, oh, we finally hit it.
We hit 1 million subscribers.
No, we hope that you guys are enjoying the show because we love doing it and
it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing the broadcast, but I have to admit that KC Chronicles is my favorite thing to do at work ever.
It's home to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I can sit here and yap for an hour and nobody can tell me no. Well, you can tell me no.
No.
But we appreciate everybody who views, even if it's not that many. We really appreciate it, just because that means we're a part of your day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pivot the subject.
Sure.
Let's talk about your T-shirt. What does it say? Because it's kind of hard to see.
So there's a story. This is a shirt. It says, "Short girls. God only lets things grow until they're perfect. Some of us just don't take as long."
I was with her when she
There's
bought
a
it.
story about this. So Wednesday night, I texted Cullen because I was bored, and I'm like, I'm not sitting in my apartment by myself for hours. So I was like, Cullen, how bored are you? I was like, Cullen, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. And I was like, do you want to go thrifting with me? And he goes, sure.
Yeah, so we went to
So
the thrift
we
shop, like Macklemore.
We went to Value Village, and the shirt was $2. I had to buy it. I'm sorry, it was too good.
I saw it and I cackled. I was like,
I thought it's
wow.
funny. I think it's hilarious, and I love it. Also, now that we're talking, those jeans,
Yeah, they don't fit.
I could get them over my thighs. It was so sad. I was like trying to put them on. I was like,
Okay, is this a thing where you take? So, what did you do with the jeans, like around your neck, to see if
it
they
didn't fit around my neck. I didn't think it was gonna fit over my butt.
Okay, but like explain the whole neck.
When I was younger, I was taught that if you take jeans and you just wrap it around your neck, like the waist, if it touches nicely, comfortably at the back of your neck, it should fit. Should.
I have never heard this before.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't fit around my neck. But I don't like. At Value Village, there's no change room, so I just guess. I mean, it was only $5 jeans, so really, it's not a big deal if they didn't fit right. But yeah, it was kind of really sad when I tried to put them on. They like went up to like halfway up my thigh, and that was it. I still need jeans though.
Well, go buy jeans.
From where?
Well, that's the thing. We didn't just go to Valley Village. Where did we go?
We
to?
went into the mall, and we went to Ordean's and Boathouse, and
We saw Rhett and Link. No, I'm kidding.
I wish. Jeez, I just really want to meet Red Link, man. That's all I want. That's my aspiration.
That's your
in
mission
life.
statement. The second she meets Rhett and Link, she's
That's
just
it.
gonna
Drop dead.
die,
Be done.
be done.
I can die a happy woman if I met them.
It's like I could have like 85 years of just miserable existence, but for that 10 seconds, if I meet Rhett and Link, that's a life well spent.
Yep. That's exactly right. No,
That sounds kind of obsessive.
no, but like I don't know. They're just like my favorite YouTubers, and I just think that it would be cool. Like
Do you know who my favorite YouTubers are? Casey Chronicles.
that's cool too. Yeah,
we're the best
Yeah,
ones.
we're cool. Let's talk about our last clip because that also went out during nationals. If you've seen the TikTok or the Instagram, you will know the phrase "tequila will tequila you." Somebody want that on merch? I think it'd be really funny.
Is tequila copyrighted? No, it shouldn't be, right?
No, tequila's not a brand. Tequila's
Okay.
an alcohol. It shouldn't be brand.
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying. Because like, if we wanted to put that on merch, and if we had
Yeah.
that, like that could, I don't know, like maybe be a
No.
suable offense. I'm not gonna play the audio, but it's just Kenzie talking about how
Te-
tequila.
I talk
well,
about the
tequila.
first time I tried tequila. And if you want to watch that episode, what episode was that? Valentine's Day? That's what it looks like. Yeah, so
yeah.
in the episode that is labeled Valentine's Day on YouTube, you can watch the actual full episode and then watch the clip, or vice versa if you really feel like it.
Yeah.
It's a funny clip. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it describes it. Yeah, tequila will tequila you.
It was a saying in my family. I'm serious.
I had never heard that up until you said it. So I was like, I thought you were like you just made
You just
up
thought I
some,
was out
like
of it.
you were just making up some crap.
No, my family says it. I think it's funny.
Your family's crazy.
Hold on. In a previous episode, I called my dad crazy. He goes, "Oh, why are you calling your dad crazy? You're out here on the internet calling your dad crazy." As he just said, my family is crazy. You seen the lies? I'm seeing the lies.
That door is whistling again. I hate it. It's so distracting. Okay. Well then, fine. Let's talk about that then. You started this. You're the one who enabled this. I am not going to take any crap. If you're going to say this publicly, you're opening the doors to anybody else who can say it.
That's fine. I'm just bugging. I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny that you're like, you can't call your dad crazy, and then you call
Yeah,
my
but
family crazy.
that's your family. You're,
Mhm.
you're,
I'm the one okay to call them crazy. You're
yeah,
not.
but you're dissing your family.
I'm not dissing them. My dad loves me. I'm his favorite. I am his little princess.
Okay, well now you're just dissing your other family members. So.
Nah. My little sister's gonna see this and she's gonna be like, "Why?"
I'm gonna.
No, she's gonna be like,
Hey,
"Yeah, I know,
listen.
I'm not the favorite."
I have a bargaining power here. I make the clips for this for
I
this
make
channel.
the
I make the clips,
could also
so I
make
can
'em.
determine public opinion because people usually only judge or make their opinions based off of those little social media clips nowadays.
Whatever.
So I can
didn't
steer
make me
this
look bad.
narrative. Well, no, not really. In fairness, I did make a compilation of me being rude to you. So
Yeah.
people think that they just people think that I bully you exclusively around here, which not true. It's very one-sided.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay.
Guys, we're really tired.
No, you're tired,
so out of it.
and you're. What
Yeah.
else is there to talk about?
Oh, next week's Winter Fair.
That's true. The Royal Manitoba Winter Fair.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you this now. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try. We're gonna try for an episode next week, but I'm supposed to be at the fair every day next week, so we're gonna try.
That's gonna be tricky.
I might have afternoons off, like Monday afternoon. I think I'm supposed to have off, so we might just schedule it and we'll figure it out. You will hopefully get an episode next week. But Winter Fair is happening in Brandon next week, which I'm actually excited for.
Yeah, unfortunately, we love and hope that if we had it like our way, I'm sure we would love to do like 2-3 episodes a week if we
100%.
if we had zero commitments, but unfortunately
We kind of have life commitments and
we have jobs,
and-
you have school, so it's and unfortunately because you are in your actually let's talk about that. You're in your second year. You're
I
almost
have 1 month of classes.
1 month of classes and she's done. It's just crazy because like you had about a month and a half of classes left in your first year when we started,
That's
and
crazy.
now you're about to be like
a
not done.
graduate.
I know. Welcome to the club. I've been a graduate for like nearly 2 years, so
I was gonna say
I'm a little old.
in like 3,000 years. No,
Three-
for 3,000 years.
For three-
Okay, there was a lot
I'm
of fun commentary behind the scenes at Nationals. Y'all should have been in the trailer. I can't repeat some of the things that were said, but
don't.
it was so funny. we all kind of got along and we made each other laugh, and I think that's how we made it through the 12-hour days. When
Banter
some of us
helps
were
keep
there
the
every day.
energy up. Banter keeps the energy up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about today.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like looking ahead, so we have Winter Fair. Well, with you being nearly done school, how are you feeling about school nearly being done?
It's so surreal. Like I've done school every year of my life for my whole life, so I'm like, what is
Yeah.
it gonna be not going to school?
I know. I
know?
had that same feeling because I went to ACC right out of high school.
That's what
so
I did.
I had constant. Well, hold on. So kindergarten plus all the 8 grades. And then 4 years of high school, 2 years of college. You're in school for so long time. I was in school from the year 2008 all the way to 2023. When you adjust from being in school for that long to not being in school, it's weird.
It's weird. Like
It's
even
just-
even
it-
with COVID, like even I think it's gonna be a lot different than COVID was. COVID's a whole
Yeah, COVID
different thing.
because school still
'Cause we
happened.
still
It was
had
just
school.
it was just different.
But it's gonna be so weird not going to school every day.
I know.
Like I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but I'm at the same
For
time
me,
like,
for me personally, it always felt the weirdest because I think I've said this on a previous episode, but so my birthday is at the end of August.
Yeah.
And for me, how it was for almost my entire life was it's my birthday at the end of August
and then go back to school.
and it was go back to school, and I could always have just that kind of psyche feeling of all right, my birthday's happened, we're going back to school, September is now starting. But 2 years ago, when I had my birthday and it's like, oh, it's September, but I'm not going back to school. It for a few weeks, it just kind of felt weird because even though
Yeah.
I'm carrying on doing what I do in my life, but in the back of my head, I'm kind of thinking I should be somewhere. Like I should be at a school right
Yeah,
now.
like it's
But-
so hard to grasp the idea
Yeah.
of growing
The
up.
adjustment's not hard. It's just it's a weird concept to think
It's just
about
like, oh,
because you're
I'm
used to
grown
that
up.
for because like
Yeah.
you're used to that almost your entire life. Like almost 3/4 of your life. Have
A
been
lot
spent
of what
in
you can
school.
remember from being young is school. So
Exactly.
I'm just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that I won't be going back to school.
Yeah, like a lot of your memories now will
Yeah,
be
I'm
without
like-
school. I mean,
and
you
it's
can
weird.
always go back to school, but
But I don't
Yeah.
really need, like, I've got nothing
don't
I
want
really
to.
need to, and I
No.
don't want to spend more money on school, to be honest. School's expensive, guys.
it is. It is.
But yeah, so it's just so surreal to be like this close to the end. It feels like I just started, like, And now I'm ending.
It's fast. It's just 2 years.
It's 2 years just gone so fast.
I always kind of find it funny how schooling just kind of decreases more and more. You know, elementary school, it's 8-9 years. High school, they half it. It's about 4 years. And then college, well, I guess it depends on where
the
you go.
stuff you take.
But for us,
There's
2 years of
2
community
years.
college, it's even half of that. So it just gets shorter and shorter.
It
and
just
shorter.
it feels like it's been. It feels like it's going by so fast, and I was like
in the two or so, well, not exactly 2 full calendar years, but in the amount of time that has happened between your first year and to now, like how long has it felt? Like has it felt like half a year, a whole year? Like how
it's
long?
honestly only felt like it felt like it's all going by so fast. Like it feels like it's only been like 3 months, to be completely honest. Like it doesn't feel like I've been doing this for 2 years.
Right. It's like you look left and then you look right and then all
And
of
then
a
you're
sudden,
like, oh, I'm graduating.
oh, we're done.
Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like like it feels like I don't know. It feels like I'm like stuck in time. If that makes sense. Like I'm just like I was in
Kenzie's
2023 2
frozen in
seconds
time.
ago.
You're frozen in time.
Well, I feel like I was in 2023 2 seconds ago, but now we're in 2025, and I'm like, what? Somebody, what?
Huh?
I think we should wrap this episode up though,
You think we should wrap this episode up?
because we have like 3 minutes on our timer. We have a timer off screen.
We have
if
a
you
timer.
didn't know.
We, the almighty time god has to determine how long. If we didn't have a timer, we would go for like 3 hours.
Our boss would be mad at us for putting in that many hours.
Nah. When
Thank you.
when Casey Chronicles goes rogue and we go solo, 5-hour episodes.
Are
Watch.
coming.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. I know we yapped about a lot of nothing and a lot of whatever, but we needed a little nothing episode just to get us through the week. We appreciate you guys for joining us for today's episode. And again, all the socials.
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Email us on our Gmail. Email WCGTV@westmancom.com.
And we will get back to you as soon as possible because I have, if you Instagram or TikTok DM us, I will be answering. Gmail, it's a toss up because we both have that. So
So it depends on who you want to talk to. If you want to talk to like
just specifically say Cullen.
if you want to talk to the brains, you talk to me. If you want to talk to like the weirdo.
Wow, okay, I'm done. I quit. No.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for joining us up. Joining
Joining us up.
Joining up. Joining us.
Sorry, this is how you know the episode's done, when our ability to enunciate words just
Thank you for
slips.
joining us on today's episode. We can't wait to see you next time, and we hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, your week, whatever you're having. And until next time, this is a goodbye from Kenzie and Cullen.